Okay guys, we're back in the tractor and I'm going to make a video today on a cover crop. The first thing I want you to note here is hopefully we're catching it. There's swallows swarming the tractor when we are working. The swallows, as we till up the cover crop, the swallows come and they're eating the bugs coming off the cover crop. And when we're climbing this hill here, you can just see up there's hundreds and hundreds of different types of swallows. Some are barn swallows, and then some are the swallows that nest around here under bridges. We have a lot of birds on our farm, but when I come out here with a tractor to do a job like this where I'm stirring up insects, the swallows swarm me, and I've always liked that. So, about this field. Looking up here in front of us, this is a green manure cover crop. We're on one of our poor clay hill fields. You can tell that by how red the soil looks here. That's indicative of the clay content. It's indicative of low organic matter, etc. It's just all the hallmarks of a poor soil. So what I have done with this hill field is I use it as a grazing field, as a wheat field, and as a clover crop. I do not row crop here. The one exception to the row cropping here is what we're doing today. So what we have out here is we have a sorghum cross with a sweet gene in it, and we have soybeans. You're looking at the soybeans down there and you're saying, boy, those soybeans look poor. Well, the reason the soybeans look poor is that for the last 2 weeks we have run cattle on this field. And the cattle have come through this field and they've selectively grazed the soybeans. Cattle like soybeans, and that was interesting little side note. Soybeans, their first purpose was a forage crop for cattle. But anyway, the cows have come out here and they have topped off the soybeans. If you're able to see down at the soybeans, they're podding. They have just started to pod. Ideally, I would have let this crop go a little bit longer, but the sorghum, if I let the sorghum get much bigger, I will not physically be able to work it down. So today's the day. We are working it down. We will let it sit for the next month. In that time period, I will spread manure. I will also spread pale lime on this field, and then we will plant wheat. So years ago, we figured out how, there's a good shot of the swallows. Years ago, we figured out how you raise good wheat, and ironically, you raise high protein and high test weight wheat on poor ground. On good ground, it seems like you raise high yield wheat, but the quality numbers are lacking. On poor ground, if you do soil building practices like we're doing here, you can raise good wheat with a decent yield, but crazy high protein numbers and crazy high test weight numbers. And when you're selling human consumption wheat, it really doesn't matter what your yield is. If you don't have protein and you don't have test weight, you do not have milling quality wheat. So I like this poor ground, and I like doing alternative things like we're doing on this poor ground of a green manure crop. It's a way that I can get return per acre on this field that in the conventional system it would just be about impossible to get a good return on this field. So this year we have done soil building and we've done cattle grazing. Next year we have the wheat. The year after we will leave the clover and we will hopefully make clover seed on it. There were years when I came out in this field and it was so poor and so tight I couldn't get the disc to bite in. So the last thought I want to leave you with is look back there at that disc and see how much tonnage we're covering and how well the disc is biting in on this poor clay rocky hill. When you see the wings on the disc jump, that means that we've hit a rock. There's rocks out here too. Anyway guys, thanks.